Yep. Tried this a few times, but you know, there's always something. Can I have music playing in the background while I talk to myself if I want to upload it to the internet? But YouTube's dead. You don't upload yourself to the internet anymore. You upload a face. You make some money off of it. You join the drama. People want to hear a consistent podcast from a comedian for free. Well, whatever happened to just the human element? Low budget, non-entertaining, wonky bullshit like just some guy laying on the hood of his car looking at the sky. Can't see any stars. It's cloudy out. It was a really humid day. Just hear all sorts of shit going on. You know, I look down the road and my night vision is kicking in and I see something. You know, it could be anything. I could be getting stalked by some type of bear or wolf. But I'm not. And even so, if that happened, it would be one of the more interesting things that happened to me anyhow. This is life. And I'm trying to understand. Because I know hopes, dreams, expectations, you can work for that, you can plan for that. But you just feel so defeated after you've failed so many times on the slightest things. And so you're stuck, you know, without your hopes and dreams, without any hobbies or dopamine responses, or you know, something as simple as just coming out here and looking at the sky at night. You have to see the positive. I finished my job, you know, I'm no longer on call, and so I can drive out here and just lay on the hood of my car for a little while and try to be happy that I'm alive. You know, I've gone a long time without things that I wanted. Things that other people, well, I shouldn't say other people, but yeah. I want friends. I want a girlfriend. I want to spend positive time with my family. I want purpose and meaning to my job and to my life. I'd like to have friends with similar interests. I'd like to get out more. And for 5 years, I did what I have already done for the night. I worked. And then I'd go home and I'd just drink or get high and just watch TV, play repetitive games, watch all this YouTube shit obsessively and dwell on it like I thought I had ideas, but just in my head. I gotta be eloquent enough to put them into words, but even my writing was so tedious that it came across as just, yeah, I was trying too hard. Esoteric was the word somebody used to describe it, and I guess they're right. And when you just hurl something onto the internet, you're not going to find... I was lucky. I found, you know, people didn't harass me or anything. I hope I haven't implied that. I left before it even happened. There was a bunch of really weird, unique confusion where I know I'm not going to be missed. I know I'm not going to be thought negatively of. I didn't even really tell anybody except this one guy that I was starting a new channel. I just bowed out because it was affecting my life and my health. I waited 5.5 years for a piece of testing that I think I mentioned in my very first video towards the end, and 5.5 years is too long. And I wanted to, after 3 years I thought that was too long, and so I wanted to go on the internet, but I was still really, you know, unstable. And I would not have been welcomed on the internet. And so I have to make the decision, like, do I just get on with my life even though it's boring and I'm alone, and just try to be grateful for what I have and hope for a future and save money and just try to accomplish something? Find what makes me happy other than obsessing or being alone or being fucked up. And you know, I don't want to imply I was some kind of addict. I drank too much. I would binge, but I wouldn't do it every day. And I'm a pothead. But that's something I'm probably going to do for the rest of my life. It's just, whoa, Jesus. Fucking bug. A little late at night for that thing to be out. Anyhow. Yeah, I'll get stoned when I get home. There's nothing on TV, so I'm screwed. Like, I don't do any of the things I used to do. You know, in the last month, I've gotten drunk about once a week. But just drunk, not, you know, on my knees crying, waking up hungover the next morning. You know, I would do it to fill the void. I would do it to feel alive. I would do it to feel clarity. I would do it to just have something in my head that was better than reality. The same couch, the same TV, the same job and routine. And yet that's exactly what I still have. Apartment's a little cleaner. Head's a little cleaner. And the testing was a weird result. You know, the guy had insight, but he missed out on a few key things. And most importantly, he said it's probably going to be more waiting for any kind of help. You know, I get they can talk to me, they can encourage me, but until I can afford to leave here, there's nothing to do. And boredom isn't a form of cruelty. It's not even a mental health issue. It's just me being really bitter because after 5.5 years of waiting, I have to wait longer. And the only thing that's going to make it go by better, the only thing that's going to keep me healthy, is if I tolerate what I had so much trouble tolerating. I don't know what happened. Like, I'm still mentally ill. You know, I have a very active fantasy world. That's what comes from, well, having a lot of isolation in my childhood. And then later in life, you know, having a breakdown. That's an oversimplification, but I just became isolated again. And I just reverted back to these old fantasies, but because I'm an adult, I'm smarter. And as a kid, it was a weird fantasy world, but as an adult, I'm tying it into reality. You know, I'm high functioning and I don't drag other people into it. I've never even told a mental health professional about some of the details until recently. Or family or anything, because they're still kind of religious. I don't know how much I want to give away, because I don't want to be ashamed, but I still might be an idiot and upload an example of what not to do at some point. This stuff's on here forever, even if I delete it. Just have to watch what I say, because I like philosophy, I like studying other religions, I like Eastern mysticism. I get it, there's a God, but is there? That's just a 3-letter word. Can you feel it? Can you understand it? My mortality, that's what limits me. That's what broke me psychologically, so I could finally just accept my fate, and that's today, and today's boring because it's the same as yesterday and every other day before it, but it's up to me to find something new to change that. What was I talking about? God? How could I ever know? You know, I see through, and this is where the Eastern philosophy and the mysticism comes in. We're all God. We're all experiencing ourselves. You know, that Bill Hicks line about LSD, which I've only tried once a long, long time ago. Yeah, I suppose I could bring up the mushrooms I took a couple years back, and then again a few months later, and then again a few months later. It was about 8 months of shroom trips. There was about 5 or 6 of them, I think. And it was a bad idea in some people's opinions, but you know, I didn't hurt myself or others. That's not the kind of person I am. But I dwelled on it. I wanted to make the argument for it. And that would have been stupid. And so I'm finally finding some peace. I have this active fantasy world where I know I'm limited by physics. Like, I'm not stupid. It's like 2 different minds. You know, that survival instinct kicks in. And it's like, okay, you gotta fill the time. Better make yourself feel important, even though you're smart enough to know that reality's a bitch. You know, and there's people like living in mansions, there's people in Africa, there's a lot of disparity, and I'm in the middle, and I shouldn't be so dramatic and depressed about it, but that's brain chemistry. So what changed things? Because I'm not on any medication right now. You know, I had good days, sure, but I was really out of it. And the mushrooms pushed me so much further than I was able to turn around and look at myself objectively. And I hope that car doesn't turn down this road. Okay, good. And so I've done work, but without any help, so it's been slow going. But I've been trying to correct myself, not behavior, because I don't really interact with people that much. I'm always quiet. I smile and nod. The only people I'll get emotional with are mental health and family. But I did, upload recordings of myself high on the mushrooms trying to sound smart. Because it was all new to me, but I'm so egotistical because as soon as I uploaded it, nobody cared. And then I go looking for other channels, and they're saying the same thing, but they're so watered down. And that's what I hated. That's what I didn't want to be, but I realized how necessary it was. And kind of train my mind to realize when there's a no. Certain things just aren't possible. You can't will anything into existence. You have to do it with your hands and your mouth and even money, I suppose, but that's just a kinetic step away from your hands or your mouth or your parents or some legacy or all sorts of things. I'm just rambling on and on. Given context, those ducks are just having a blast over there. I like the fact that I can just come out here and not get bothered, really. In my tiny apartment, everybody's loud and paper-thin walls, and to get airflow, you gotta crack the wall open, because there's no window, just a giant pane of glass sliding door, which is a stupid idea for an apartment. That's one of the points I think I made on mushrooms, and it took so much effort. It took like 5.1 grams just for me to be comfortable enough to talk to the same camera that I am right now, lying on my couch stone. Just to tell a story, just try to have a sense of humor. And that was a lot of the work, the practice, learning to talk in my own voice, learning to write in my own vocabulary, learning to train myself to be a little more universal, but nobody really is. I just have to find my clique. But on YouTube, that's a joke. Everybody's an individual, but we need to team up. For what? My idea of fun isn't regressing back to high school. And that's a stupid thing for me to say, because that's what a lot of my own personal drama was about. Not high school, but that mentality where you need to dwell on shit. And I really was upset at mental health for taking 5.5 years. After 3 years, I started arguing the mushrooms inspired something in me, and I wrote letters, and I tried to participate, but I was just still so out of it. I couldn't articulate what my issues were, and now that I have, and now that I've had this testing done, the guy was good because he, in a way, just reiterated what I already told him in the letter. But a lot of that was history, so he knows I'm not, that I have memory issues, sure, and I do have an active inner world, but I know what happened, I know what's right. That bad memory thing was mainly when it comes to words. I could understand intent, I could understand the context of what was being said and where it was being said. I could remember the look of the room. But I recorded my appointment so I could listen to them and figure out, am I being fucked with? Because in the end, I thought it was a conspiracy. There was a lot of paranoia. And it's just so sad to find out it was blind incompetence and apathy, as everybody just goes through the motions for an easy paycheck. I'm whining about my problems. Well, I'm trying to make a point, but I still have to be removed emotionally from what happened. I have to discuss it objectively and not be bound by the reference. That's still, it's much better now. I mean, I'm not, if I'd tried this even 3 months ago, I'd be fuming right now, ranting, trying to make these bullshit points and getting sidetracked. I'm doing the same thing now, I'm just doing it in a calmer tone of voice. Well, the clouds have kind of gone away. I'm seeing some satellites here. That's cool. Hood of my car is warm. Like, even though it was rained, and windshield's not wet. I probably got bug guts in my shirt, but it's just so comfortable. I have to be happy for this. It's not what I wanted, but who gets what they want when they want it? I just don't want to be so bitter with having to, toughen it out for possibly another year or two. Like, what if something happens? I need to seize the opportunity, which means it's just waiting. But if I get myself out there, I want to make sure that if something can change, I can be there to go right along with it. I don't know how to word this properly. I just don't want to sound desperate, but yeah, it would be nice to have friends. And it's tough for me to communicate online. I don't see you. I can't hear your tone of voice or comments. I don't know who's sarcastic and who's fucking with me. I don't know who's just... And even the awkward moments when somebody's really nice, but I have to be that guy who is in not a rude or aggressive way, just kind of realizes that it's a chore. The same way I try to reach up to people, I might have somebody reaching up to me. So why am I being so antisocial? It's because it's just right now. I'm going to keep uploading, and maybe in the future I'll be able to throw a comment out there or a real video. I still have my old channel. I'm still a little obsessive. Like, my OCD's gone a lot better. There's a time where I could not, if I bought some takeout, I would not eat it in the car. I would have to get home and I would let it get cold until I had something playing. Being on call now, I get the food home, go to put it in my mouth, and ring ring, time to go to work, gobble it down as fast as you can. I think I bitched about this in my last video. But that's the thing, it doesn't bother me too much anymore. Life is non-stop. And I'm being really broken right now. I have to give up on planning or expectations, or justice or validation. Oh. I got beat around so much that I'm going to be a flake. I'm going to have this stick up my ass. I've tried my best to get rid of this grudge, but it's still memories. It's still a situation I'm in. Most people, when they walk away, they actually get to walk away, whereas I've just, inside my head, I'm just out of service. I'm defeated. I give up. I surrender. Fuck it. I just want to have some fun. And so I'll do it the hard way. My anxiety, my mental health issues are going to be tough to deal with in real life, but it took a lot of hard work just to be confident enough to even do this to a camera and feel okay uploading it. To show my face, to be myself, and to evolve as a person, because right now, sure, I'm not as funny or confident as I want to be, but just trying to treat this like I'm sitting next to a quiet person. Well, that's actually a good exercise. I guess I wouldn't be talking somebody's ear off like this. I'd want to have a conversation, but on YouTube, that's impossible, unless you have live streaming. And I saw that in a few of the smaller channels I went to. They would have regular uploads, and then they just gave up, and now they're just live streaming with their friends. It's like a 4-person Skype call, and they won't even upload it to their channel. It'll be live, so I click on it and watch a bit. But then they don't even bother to keep it, and so there's nothing on their channel. It's just a dead channel. That's a good idea. I should make some money and buy the right cameras and mics and stuff. But that's months away. I just paid for new brakes for my car, other bills. Now that I have a job, I am spending more than I used to. Like, I was budgeting pretty good for a little while there. Living on like $5 to $10 a day. You know, I bought a vaporizer with the last bit of the money just so I wouldn't buy cigarettes, but as soon as I got a job, as soon as I got paid, cigarettes, candy, just driving around, smoking cigarettes, listening to music, wasting my life. So now I'm just driving back and forth on call, going straight home to, well, to be fair, uploading these videos takes a lot of time. Like I said, I need a smartphone or better cameras because this thing is HD. And yeah, it's about, on its lowest setting, it's 2 gigs per half an hour. So that takes about 10 to 20 minutes to upload to my computer. Then I sometimes have to format it because YouTube won't recognize it. Or I have to put it in an editor to just, cut out the beginning because I just left it quiet for a minute, or, stupid stuff. And then you gotta upload it, and that takes forever. Oh, this conversation has gone downhill. I'm just reiterating what I already put in one of my descriptions. Closure is tough. I know that when I shut this camera off, I have to go home and go to bed and see my father tomorrow for the first time in over 6 months. That's a different story altogether. I love him. I don't want any harm to come of him. Obviously, I feel differently when I'm angry, and I might say differently. But it hurt me, if anything, hurt him. But it's like lip service. It's a chore. It's not going to be a relationship anytime soon. But the idea of just being removed from him, it's like the mental health system all over again. I'm not going to get validation for my anger because I try to express, what upsets me, and I get upset. Maybe that's something the therapist can help with in the future, some type of family therapy where I can take what I've learned and some of the discipline that I have now and express myself and let them know. Not just that I'm angry with them, but why? Without resorting just saying you're, fucking asshole. Maybe I should write my dad a letter, but I tried that and he just doesn't get it. Him and I have a lot in common. Makes me wonder how much we have in common, mental health-wise. I wish I had friends to talk about. I wish I could name these smaller channels I went to, but you're not supposed to involve people. A guy gave me a kind of a shout out, and I'm like, he wasn't a bad guy. I had to give my thanks, but no, I don't want to be affiliated. It's such a weird interaction on YouTube. You have live streams with your friends or with cohorts. You have reaction videos or drama or news or art, or that's something I wanted to get into. I just don't know how to put on a good presentation. I was always waiting for some money just so I could get a decent computer and those expensive programs. And learn them over time. I could do that now, but at my age, a couple of years of hard work, and then what? I'm a 35-year-old YouTube star, or 34 and 3/4. That wasn't one of my hopes and dreams. It was. Shut up. Don't lie. Shit. There it is. I talk to myself. It hasn't happened in a while. I like that. I catch myself in a lie. I did want to have something on YouTube. I didn't care about the money, and that's true. I wanted the ego. And so now I can focus on hobbies, dopamine responses like a snowmobile or video games, because that's what life is. I want a connection. I want an attractive woman to make me feel better about myself. And you're not supposed to do that because that means you're not an individual. It means you're just trying to fill the void with a human. I guess it takes more hard work. I'm still stuck in the middle. I'm gonna have to relax more. I'm gonna have to not practice, but challenge myself. Get out there and once I have a smartphone and a little more space, I can just join a dating site that actually, has filters on it. Because I don't want kids. And other stuff, and that's a completely different video. And the reason I'm scared of saying it is there's this standard. I don't want to offend anybody. I just want to be me, and that means I need to find somebody with similar interests and values and stuff, and it means I have to be honest about it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I rehearse the lines. I need to get out there, but it's going to be at least a month before I can really do much of anything other than what I get to do right now before I go home and try to get to bed. Well, thanks for your time, everybody. It's important I remember closure because I always have trouble with that. But once I find my catharsis, then I can just move on, and tomorrow's a new day. Yeah, I'm going to read some of my older poems, but there's one called The Elephants. Elephants. That's spelled stupid. I wrote it when I was drunk, and then I rephrased it when I was sober. And that was like half a year ago. Or I don't know what date it was. It was this year sometime. But at least a couple months ago. Who cares? I know. That's a good poem, though, because every day is the same damn day. I understand you go to sleep and then you wake up with memories, but you might as well be dead every time you close your eyes for the night. And what if you did? Would you have been happy with what you did today? That cliche? Live in the moment? Don't go to bed in anger or some bullshit? It happens. Last conversation I had with my mom on the phone, I guilt-tripped her. I won't get to talk to her for a few days because she's busy. And she understands, it's not the first time. But, tomorrow I have to wake up and do the exact same thing I did today, plus more bullshit, more awkwardness and appointments and stuff that are going to come up. Bills, and I guess running up and down 3 flights of stairs every time I have to go on call is exercise enough. But I've only got like 6 cigarettes left for the night. Do I even want to know what that was? It was a bat or an owl, it had to have been, but that was a loud flapping. It sounds like it's a hydroplaning. They can see in this shit? Anyhow, this is blackness for a video and some asshole talking to himself. Yeah, closure. You were about to give up and then you trailed off again because going home means going to bed and waking up tomorrow, and you're trying to find catharsis, but you're still bitching while you're doing it. I know. And this is my sense of humor, because, yeah, I like this. It's the only time I'm not actually feeling the emotions is when I'm looking at myself and laughing at what a... Come on, what am I? Don't just be vulgar and call yourself a little bitch. Dissociated. Even when I'm talking to myself, this is my life. This is my moment. Even when I get home, that's going to be a moment I'm going to have to make the best of. If I waste it watching TV and staying up late, it's just one day. And tomorrow, same routine. Now, not every day is going to be the same. I get days off and just got nothing to do with them other than probably wish I was working just so I'd have something to fucking do. That's a weird new thing for me. I have no problem with hard work. It's just people being at somebody's beck and call. And yet I work better under pressure. I have to give it to myself. without exaggerating my mental health issues and thinking that my life is going to end or that people are coming to get me if I don't do something. Yeah, I do need a fire under my ass. I just don't need the gray hair and the ulcers and the goddamn stroke. Okay. Have a good night, everybody.